The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
And welcome into Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. Benny Mitchell here with the Henlopen Conference Southern Division Championship on the line here tonight with the Lake Forest Spartans and the Laurel Bulldogs. Joining me tonight is Dan Rigby, the former coach at Milford, and Caesar Rodney. And Dan, big match here tonight, Southern Division, but Lake Forest has been able, they've been on a little bit of a tear this year.
Yeah, Benny, thanks for having me first off. But, you know, last 2 weeks ago we got a chance to do a big Henlopen North matchup. This week we get the chance to do a big Henlopen South matchup to decide the divisional championship, end of the season wrestling. This is what it's all about. Excited to see these two teams go at it, number 3 and number 4 in the state. Lake Forest at home. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the Spartans are number 3 ranked team in the state. They're 13-3, and Laurel number 4 in Division II at 8-3. The last 3 years, this match has decided the Henlopen South. Lake Forest won it in 2021, and the Bulldogs have won it the past 2 years, and got some big matchups tonight. The one I'm looking at most is going to be at 150 pounds with number 1 Stanley Pete at 32-2 versus number 2 Case Dempsey at 31-1. They are 1-1 against each other.
Yeah, Benny. Back to the programs. What a testament to the coaches of both of these programs. Coach Toadvine and Coach Hansen have done a great job year in and year out. It's easy to have a little bit of one-and-done success, but both of these programs have done a great job staying relevant, staying at the top of the division, and it's the same with those two wrestlers. Stanley Pete and Case Dempsey have just been names to be reckoned with the last couple of years in Delaware wrestling, and that's going to be a barn burner of a match. I'm looking forward to that one. Stanley
Pete, a defending conference champion, 3rd in the state last year. Last year at 138, now at 150. A couple more ranked guys in the lineup tonight for Laurel. Just entering the rankings at 132 is Connor Smith, ranked number 6 at 35-5. We talked about Stanley Pete. Xavier Limehouse, he's number 4 at 157, which just may be the toughest, most competitive weight class in the state. He'll see number 2 defending state champ Nuruddin Ahmad Stats tonight. He's 29-1. And then finally the big heavyweight, just a sophomore conference champion, Joseph Baynard, number 3 for the Laurel Bulldogs at heavyweight. And we look over on the Lake Forest side, Demarius Russ, number 6 at 120. Jerusalem Howard, number 4 at 138. We talked about Case Dempsey and Stats already. And then Cullen Parcell, number 5 at 215. He was in a battle last week with Donahue from Cape.
Yeah, Benny, one of the things, just looking at these two rosters, if you look at the rosters, Lake Forest is pretty senior heavy.
Right.
I'm looking at 5 or 6 seniors on their team. This is their year to try to get it done. They've been in some really competitive matches. That's just another testimony to that stacked weight class, 157 pounds.
Folks, we're going to cut the mics for a second, take a quick commercial timeout, and by that time we should be back and ready to rock and roll here at Lake Forest High School for the Southern Division Championship.
For over 15 years, our company has been building homes in Sussex County, Delaware. We offer a completely comprehensive program for our customers that makes building a new home enjoyable. At Capstone Homes, we have access to lots in our amazing communities or through our realtor partners. Visit with our team of professionals for a completely comprehensive experience. We can handle absolutely every part of building a new home for you and your family. Create your new home. Create a Capstone home.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware.
You've been by our side since our doors opened.
Thank you so much for giving me a call on so many years ago when I had no credit.
You helped our business grow into what it is today.
As a military family, thank you for supporting the financial needs of servicemen and their loved ones.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware.
Folks, they're going to be 4 JVs match first. So we'll watch them with that commentary, and we'll be back on for the varsity match coming up at 6 o'clock, hopefully. And welcome back to Lake Forest. The Bulldogs have made their way onto the match. Yeah, and we're going to get you the public address announcer and tonight's starting lineups.
Lake Forest, Cameron McCray. 113 for the Bulldogs, Katie Wooten. For Lake Forest, Lauren Rackney. At 120 for the Bulldogs, Cario Perez Soriano. For Lake Forest, Marion West. At 126 for the Bulldogs, Ian Messi. For Lake Forest, Jason Farrell. At 132 for Bulldogs, Kenyon Littleton or Connor Smith. For Lake Forest, Lincoln Peeler. At 138 for the Bulldogs, Kenyon Littleton or Connor Smith. For Lake Forest, Jerusalem Howard. At 144 for the Bulldogs, Landon Messi. For Lake Forest, Ian Nance. At 150 for the Bulldogs, Stanley Peete. And for Lake Forest, Case Dempsey. 157 for the Bulldogs, Sixto Escobar or Xavier Limehouse. And for Lake Forest, Modine Savage. At 165 for the Bulldogs, Sixto Escobar, Xavier Limehouse. And for Lake Forest, Sean Farrell. At 175 for the Bulldogs, Charles Ellis. For Lake Forest, Jordan Thomas. At 190 for the Bulldogs, Michael
Came off track.
For Lake Forest, Chase Lewis.
Yeah, they brought some guys in late in the season.
215 for the Bulldogs, Carlene Rodriguez. And for Lake Forest, Carlin Parcell. 285 for the Bulldogs, Joseph Hayden. For Lake Forest, Matt King. Bulldogs first by Lake Forest, Zach Carolina, Zach Whaley.
Those are your starting lineups for tonight's match. We're going to take a quick break while they play the anthem, and we'll be back with some high school wrestling here live from Lake Forest High School.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Sodell Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Sodell Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Sodell Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
And welcome back. We're live from Lake Forest High School in Felton, Delaware, as the captains meet in the center of the mat. Referee tonight is Tom Spell. He will be on the microphone. So Lake Forest will take choice in the even matches. We're going to start tonight at 106 pounds. We're going to see a freshman in Reginald Ferdinand, 12 and 22 for the Bulldogs against sophomore Cameron McCray, 14 and 13 for Lake Forest. Scott, these are the matchups. These guys with the 500 and below 500 records that are going to be key in this match. Now, I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah, Benny, these are the ones we have circled. We also kind of looked at the toss, and during warm-ups and during introductions, Laurel had a few people weighed in at a couple different places. Looks like there might be some jockeying of the lineup over there, so we'll see how that pans out with toss.
Laurel, for those of you not familiar with Henlopen Conference Wrestling, Laurel is in the red singlets, representing the Bulldogs of Laurel, Delaware. And Lake Forest is in the navy blue and powder blue and white, the Spartans of Lake Forest. We're underway at 106 pounds, first matchup of the night. And Ferdinand gets to the legs, Dan, right before they go out of bounds.
Yeah, both of these guys are showing a lot of aggressive action here. Both young, big match environment. We'll see how they respond.
I think McCray is a little underweight for this weight class, even though it's the lowest weight class in wrestling, but he's a small 106-pounder.
Yeah, I had the privilege of actually coaching his brother for a year, and I can tell you this, they like to scrap. They like the big environment, so I think that favors him here.
Under a minute to go, first period, shot attempt by Ferdinand. He gets a underhook over under here, center of the mat. And they go out of bounds.
And that's twice, Benny, that, Ferdinand has wrestled McCray off the mat by the rule book. I bet if he does that again, he's going to hit him for a stall.
No score here at 106, first match of the night. $30 to go here in the first period. Shot by Cameron McCray. Gets it to a double, runs him to the edge. Ferdinand locked in the crotch. Just needs to roll through to survive this. Does. We're on the edge, 8 seconds to go.
And what a great scramble that is, Benny. Oftentimes the ability to scramble comes with maturity and kind of some experience, and both of those guys really wrestled through that position well.
And that's going to end the first period. 0-0. And Red's going to take choice, and he will take down.
Yeah, a lot of times, Benny, if it's a 0-0 match, the team that has choice wants to be the team that scores first point. So if we go into sudden victory ride out, they get choice. And whether they want to be on bottom or top in that sudden victory, that's important. Whoever scores the first point gets that option.
Underway here in the second period.
Big tight waist from McCray. He does a nice job dropping that shoulder and cinching that big tight waist on that left side. That wears on you if you're the bottom guy as the match goes on. Look at that.
Good way to collect that arm bar and cross wrist. A lot of things you can collect out of a good tight waist.
Absolutely.
Minute 30 to go here in the second period. We have no score between these two. And Ferdinand looks to escape, but McCray able to get right back in on the legs.
That's a great call by the official. He gave him time to try to face, and McCray, very smart, understanding where he was on the mat, had to get back in on those legs so the wrestler couldn't defend himself.
Minute 18 here, second period, no score. We've had some close ones to take down, close takedown on the edge. Time ran out, and then Ferdinand looked like he was going to get away and got a stall call on McCray.
Yeah, that matters, Benny. If Ferdinand were to get back to his feet, McCray's going to have to make a decision to probably cut him. He can't afford to give up an escape and another stall call. This match has been wrestled on the edge. Lots of close action on the edge. Takedown almost scored on the edge. The escape twice now. So try to get them to stay in the middle here and see what happens.
Minute to go here in the second period. Ferdinand rises to his feet again, gets to a leg this time. Looking to pop his head for the reversal. And gets the reversal. 2-0 lead for McCray.
Ferdinand needs to try to finish this period on top.
He's got 30 seconds to go here.
And you're right, Benny. You know, this is the place where you really see the size difference. Ferdinand's long. He can wrap himself around McCray a little bit here on top. McCray's going to have to work really hard to try to get off late in the period. And he did it. Nice job.
Escape for McCray. 2-1 lead for Ferdinand.
Great period, both wrestlers here.
That's going to take us to the third period. 2-1 lead for Reginald Ferdinand. And McCray's going to go in the bottom position.
Yeah, I like these third periods, especially with young wrestlers, Benny. You know, their nerves are up, they're excited, they're anxious, and sometimes that wears on you, and we see who has the better conditioning in the third period, and we'll see who can last.
Underway in the third, 2-1 lead for the Bulldogs. No score in the dual meet yet, as this is the first match of the night. It's for the Henlopen South. In the last 3 years, and point for McCray, we're all tied up. Last 3 years, this match has determined the South champion.
Big environment for both guys, as I said earlier. McCray's got to be mindful that he does have a stall call while Ferdinand does not. It's 2-2. They both have to keep wrestling here.
Approaching a minute 30.
These are the matches that add up, Benny. You know, tight matches, two young guys. You plan on a win here, and then the other guy sneaks it out. It's a 6-point swing. So
out of bounds with a minute 21 left. Brandon Hill and Donald Flowers on the cameras for us tonight. I'm Benny Mitchell, with me, Dan Rigby. Minute to go in the match, unless we go to overtime. And we're dead center in the match here, Scott, or Dan.
Yeah, Ferdinand's been close to grabbing that headgear a couple times. He's got to be really careful not to get a hold of that thing and let that change the outcome of the match.
And we go out of bounds. 43 seconds on the restart. I think both coaches have this as a wish in their win column for tonight, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone's going to have to take a chance here and try to fire one off. We'll
30
see
to go.
Last 30 seconds. Who takes that chance?
There's a shot by Ferdinand. He gets in deep and finishes. 4-2 lead. And go out of bounds with 13 seconds left in the match.
McCray's got to be thinking reversal here. I don't know if he has enough time to get a 1 and then a 2. He's got to think about a standing switch, some sort of reversal to finish this match on top and try to force an overtime.
That was a deep, deep shot by Ferdinand there.
Yes, it was. There's a locked hand.
Five seconds to go, right on the edge. And that's going to be it. Big win there for the Dogs.
That is a big win for Laurel.
And that's going to move us to 113 pounds. We're going to see Cade Wooten, 28-15 on the year. And he's going to take on Aaron Ratledge, sophomore, 9-9.
Yeah, just based on records, Benny, I think Laurel's got to be the one favorite here. Both sophomores. Again, another big environment here. Oftentimes in these matches, you start seeing some momentum build up after a couple matches, and teams can ride that. So, you know, Lake Forest probably was hoping to get that win that first match. They got to try to stop the bleeding here the next match and get the momentum back in their favor.
There's a dump there by Wooten. And he goes up 2-0.
I like the way that he started on a high crotch. He's got him on his back here.
Getting the swipes.
He started with the high crotch, elevated, and then went right to a fireman's carry from there. That was pretty slick.
Minute to go here, first period. Wooten up 4-0. Dogs looking to jump out to a quick start. And there he does, runs the wrist into the reinforced bar, getting the swipes. Got to get those hips down and get heavy.
Yeah, he got him over now. If he can keep him from passing that arm, Benny, Ratledge is in trouble. If he can keep him, stay teed off here.
30 seconds to go, now he goes to a body scissor.
Oh, he's flat.
And gets it. Pin for the Dogs. So now Lake Forest is going to get into a match where they're favored with number 6 ranked Demarion Russ. And he's going to go up against Macario Perez Soriano. He is 8-13 on the season. Russ, 28-4. (9-0) lead for the Laurel Bulldogs.
Yeah, Benny, Lake Forest has a chance to stop the bleeding a little bit here and get back on track. Nice snap there by Russ. He's going to sink that bar, that half right away.
Take down Russ, goes up 2-0. And turning quickly. Russ gets a little high there, but keeps the wrist, readjusts. Now wants to go back chest and chest. And 3 back. 5-0 lead for Demarion Russ.
Russ has got to try to find a way to get that fist in the back with that arm bar and not let it come up so far. Looking near side.
120 of the weight class with 2 state champs in it. And number 1 ranked Malachi Stratton of Sussex Central. And number 2 ranked from Salesiana, name just escaped me. And off of maybe an ill-advised attempt to roll with the feet not clear, and Russ is going to look for the fall here.
Yeah, he's got to sag that near shoulder down. Again, whenever you get to your back, if you can pass an arm, you can normally get off your back. The top guy's got to make sure that those arms don't pass, but an early 8-0 lead already here for Russ.
Under 30 to go here. First period, Russ up 8-0. And looking for another turn here.
He's got to get out to the side and drop that near shoulder. He's got it down.
There's the pin. So the Spartans answer with a pin from Demarion Russ.
Benny, just looking ahead, this 126 matchup is another matchup. You mentioned it.
Right.
2 guys with relatively similar records. Laurel was able to get the first one. Let's see if Lake Forest can answer here.
So this is going to be Ian Messick, 13-10, freshman. He did wrestle last year as an 8th grader. And he's up against Mason Farrell, another freshman, 10 and 10. Shot attempt by Messick. Farrell's showing some good motion out there, Dan. Some good up and down, side to side motion.
Yeah, but both guys are. Look like Messick had
Messick with a deep double goes
that
up.
That was a nice re-attack, and we talk about this a lot. Sometimes your initial attack's not always there, but you got to get it going off of a motion or get it off of a fake or even a re-attack shot, and that was a nice job by Messick.
Big crowd here tonight for the Henlopen Southern Division Championship. Laurel made about maybe an hour ride up here. The fans are starting to fill in, seeing some red behind us.
Yeah, Benny, both programs have done such a good job kind of rejuvenating themselves over the last 5 to 7 years and you know, have brought a lot of pride back in. You know, I got the chance to talk to Coach Hansen earlier in the year, and he was at, 50-plus kids in his program. What an awesome thing for a Henlopen South school.
Skateboard Farrell. Laurel beefing up their schedule now. They had both Sussex Central and Cesar Rodney on their regular season schedule.
Yeah, wrestling those big Henlopen North schools that are perennial powerhouses kind of prepare you for a match like this. You know, if you're going to go wrestle the big dogs, you're ready for this environment for sure.
Farrell in on a shot. Tight whizzer there by Messick. Now he looks to throw him over with an underhook. Farrell able to come out in the front.
Yeah, Benny, these are, record-wise, these guys are relatively similar, but a lot of times these matches can be super close, and then they turn into a pin, and, it's who can stay off their back and who can grind out a win.
And a takedown by Messick to take an early 4-1 lead here in the first period at 126 pounds. That's going to take us to the second period, only the second match to go. 2 periods tonight. So Farrell's going to take bottom. 2 minutes on the clock. Get ready to start the second period. 9-6 is the team score in favor of Laurel. Laurel back-to-back Henlopen South titles the past couple of years. And the last 3 years, it's come down to this match.
Benny, just on first glance, these first couple weight classes, Laurel's kids are just big. They're big for the weight class. They're long. They seem to have a little bit of a size advantage. I know everybody weighs in, but sometimes that scale can not really tell the whole story.
Right, exactly. Because with leverage, you get a little more weight, really. And Farrell sits, turns, and scores. Makes it 4-2.
These matches, Benny, it's all about the fundamentals. Who has the best sound technique? You don't always get into kind of crazy throws. You got to stick with what got you here and good sound technique.
And another takedown for Messick. He goes up 6-2.
We talk about this a lot, Benny. The difference between a good guy and a great guy is that the great guys can scramble just a little bit longer.
Right.
They can get into those flurries, and they understand the position just a little bit better. And right now, that's what Messick's doing a nice job of, just sticking into that fight a little bit longer than Farrell.
And go out of bounds with 42 seconds left in the period. .42 seconds to go here in the second period. 6-2 lead for the Bulldogs. Ian Messick. That's 6-3.
Farrell did a nice job giving himself an option to score some more points. And he's on close to a near side here, Benny.
He's near side cradle.
His head's really deep, though. He's got to try to pop his head out. There he goes.
27 to go here in the period.
Got to keep him in. This is an ideal position. His foot's on the floor.
Under 10 to go. and go out of bounds with 4 seconds.
Yeah, Farrell lost an opportunity there. He had a nice near side cradle. He popped his head out.
Yeah, I think Coach Tovine's asking if that was at least a takedown. Oh, no, his foot was on the floor. That's what he was
I think
asking.
he was trying to get that time back. No review here in high school.
That's
Coach.
right. That's going to move us to the third period. 6-3 lead for Ian Messick. He's going to take the bottom position. And I think we're probably going to see Farrell go back to that near side cradle again.
Yeah, I think he's locked it up twice. He just hasn't been able to get that long leverage of Messick over. And but again, third period, people start to get a little tired. Things can happen. Let's see what happens here.
Underway in the third. Farrell gets a leg in on the right side. He's riding a little high and off. He's kind of hanging there.
And everybody in this gym is yelling no, so they must know something we don't know.
Right. I think he's abandoned the legs there. Now he's got to crawl 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Now he's got nothing. Now he's going to do that claw ride.
He's got to focus on keeping his hips up. He's sagging them a little bit there. He's got a nice hazard position if he can get that wrist to the hip.
Minute 15 to go here in the third period. And the second match has made it 3 periods. And he's in trouble right now.
Yeah, he's going to get up a reversal.
Reversal for Messick. He's up 8-3.
And if you're Messick and you're the Laurel program, you need to be content with just riding this one out and stealing a win here. Don't do anything crazy. Don't start trying to chase bonus points. You know, I know you're up 5. I know a set of back points get you to a major, but in situations like this, you need to be careful and just get out of here with the win.
35 to go here in the third period. Looked like he got a little high, was able to adjust his hips back. On the edge with 20 to go.
Yeah, Benny, again, these little chess matches are all about who can shave bonus points where. At this point, Farrell's just got to say, I'm not going to my back.
Right. I'm going to keep this a 3-point decision.
Messick's got to be very careful here not to do something that might cost his team a point.
Goes out of bounds with 1 second. And the Bulldogs are going to extend their lead to 12-6. And they're still favored in at least the next matchup. Big win for Ian Messick.
Yeah, so far Laurel has won two of the matchups, both of the toss-ups so far. And they're definitely going to be favored in the next match if they get the matchup that they want.
It's going to be Lincoln Peeler. And they're going to send out Kenyon Littleton. Littleton has wrestled most of the season at 138.
Yeah, it looks like they want to get Connor Smith on Jerusalem Howard. That's going to be a great match next. If Laurel can find a way to pull out one here, this would be another big swing for Laurel.
Bulldogs up 12-0 or 12-6.
You know, it's good for wrestling when coaches try to put the premier people in it. You don't always plan to do this on purpose, but when you get 2 ranked guys against each other, that's important, and that's a good thing for wrestling. Oh, he went from a stall. He went from a stall to a technical fleeing the mat. And Coach Toadvine's going to have a question about that.
Right.
So initially the referee said stall, but changed it to a technical.
132 pounds. Peeler for the Spartans and Littleton for Laurel. Littleton 11-4 this year. He's a sophomore. Peeler 12-13. Yeah, that next matchup coming up. Oh, little shrug slide by.
Slide by was
Take down
smooth.
Littleton. Because that's going to be leading into 2 big matches with top-ranked guys.
Yeah, the next couple matches are going to really, I think, probably be a big indicator who's in the driver's seat in this match. Anybody's game right now, but we got a couple key
Granby
matches.
roll by Peeler, but Littleton follows well. And they go out of bounds with 34 seconds.
That was a really nice sequence. Peeler had a really nice Granby, but Littleton had a nice job following. Sometimes when younger wrestlers follow, they follow to their hip. They don't follow up to a higher position. You put yourself in Peterson-like position, so you got to be careful.
Peeler sits, but Littleton able to keep the far side arm. Something when you switch, you got to clear that arm or just burning clock because you're not going to get away.
You're exactly where you are right now with the wrist behind you in a bad position where somebody could bar.
15 to go here in the first period.
Peeler's got to try to get one here late in the period. Littleton's got to find a way to get him down.
Tries a flip funk and a Granby from his feet.
You know, he's got to be careful there. That's twice now, and the last time he tried to Granby, Littleton had a bar sink in, so he's got to be careful to not Granby with a bar or half on him.
2 minutes to go here in the second period as we get ready to start. Laurel leads the duel 12-6. The Henlopen South title on the line. So a caution on top. And we're underway in the second period. Littleton quickly to his feet. And we're going to go out of bounds.
Nice job by the referee holding the point there.
Switch attempt, and Peeler, looks like he's going to headlock him to his back.
He still has it here, Benny. Littleton's got to pop his head. Oh, he dropped a half in there. That's trouble.
Reversal for Littleton.
If he can sink this deep and put his chest on chest without that arm passing, this is a problem for Peeler. He's deep.
Yeah, he's deep on the half. And starts the count.
That's it. Wow, that's a huge win for Laurel.
Big pin for the Bulldogs.
This is a big match coming up. 2 ranked guys, 2 different weight classes.
So he's going to move us to 138 pounds. Junior Connor Smith against sophomore Jerusalem Howard.
Yeah, Benny, you know Jerusalem. He can spend some time in your club.
He does, yeah.
He likes to go after it. A little unorthodox sometimes.
And at times very unorthodox.
Yeah. Just trying to be conservative there.
Yeah. 18-6.
I don't think we hit the panic button yet if we're Lake Forest, but if we lose a couple more of these, Benny, it's a driver's seat position for Laurel for sure.
I would say just by, the records and Laurel maybe a little more favored in the upper weights.
Yeah. Always got to watch that knee. Benny, one of the things I find really just fantastic about both of these programs are the amount of alumni on both coaching staffs.
Right.
They come back, they believe in the program, they give back, and that's a testament to what the coaches and the culture of that program. So kudos to both of those head coaches.
No score here at 138. Smith ranked 6 at 132. Howard ranked 6 at 138. And like you said, they have weigh-ins, but Jerusalem Howard always looks smaller than everybody else.
Yeah, he does.
Keeping that elbow deep. Looking dump here.
One thing I've always appreciated about Jerusalem is he understands positions. He might be a little unorthodox, like you said, but his wrestling IQ is pretty high, and he always finds a way to come out of these positions.
And usually a lot of times we'll put them on their back.
Yeah, he comes out on top. Pun intended.
Right. and shoots him out of bounds. 31 seconds on the restart. He's also very stingy in positions. He doesn't like to give up a lot of points, from neutral. And there's Smith in deep.
Yeah, you saw that in the first period, early in the first period,
Yeah.
where he bent that knee backwards, and he was not willing to give up that takedown.
And out of bounds at the buzzer. No score at the end of the first period. We're going to move to the second period at 138. One of the big battles inside, one of the big matches inside the match tonight. Smith will take bottom.
Yeah, Lake Forest deferred there.
Well, I would tell you, if you ask me, Jerusalem Howard's best position is top.
Yeah. So maybe you deferred in hopes to take bottom, and if you can ride them or get a turn, you take top in the third.
Crushing that hip.
He is doing a good job tying all those wrists up. Going claw to wrist, claw to wrist.
His go-to is a half Nelson. A lot of people, you think that's just elementary, but look at some of the best wrestlers around the state, and they're going back to that little elementary wrist and half and roll through with a half. And
look at guys like David Taylor who made a killing on high halves and just getting it from any position, understanding it's there all the time, just like a cradle or an arm bar. It's all about understanding where you are in that position. There it is.
And he could keep that. I mean, he gets that thing in deep.
Yeah, he does. But interesting, he's keeping his feet in those positions to try to remain on top for a little while. But he's lowering his hips while he does it, so he needs to be very mindful there.
53 seconds on the restart. Switch attempt, or sit and turn attempt to a switch by Smith. And Howard just on him like a tick on a dog.
Yeah, Connor Smith's done a good job on bottom, going move to move to move, but it does seem like Jerusalem Howard has an answer for it every time. You're right.
.30 to go here in the second period. We have no score.
Getting a little ahead of ourselves here, Benny, but now you're in an interesting position going into the third if Howard can remain on top here.
I say he goes down and tries to get the one.
I agree. Obviously taking top. You've been able to ride, but you haven't put him in any danger, so.
Got no stall calls.
No stall calls. Take your chances on bottom. You got a guy moving up a weight class.
You talk about understanding the situation there. Smith, each time, 3 out of the 5 times on bottom, he's tried to stand up. Howard's going to that basic tight waist ankle.
Exactly right.
Howard will go bottom position, 0-0. 2 minutes left here in regulation at 138 pounds.
And now if you're Connor Smith, you got to be thinking, if this guy gets to his feet, how much time do I have to score?
Right. Howard gets to his feet. Lift by Smith. Good job of pushing the knees away, and he gets the escape. 1-0 for Jerusalem Howard.
And that was smart for Connor Smith to know that he can't give up a stall call there. An escape's okay. He can get it back. But you can't give up an escape and a stall.
No.
Especially in a tight match like this.
With a guy who's stingy on points.
Stingy on points. Neither wrestler has a stall call. If you're Connor Smith, you got to start pushing the pace. Try to get Jerusalem back on his heels a little bit. Open up.
Shot by Smith. Howard Deep in a front headlock. I don't like that on the pit. I'd rather be on that chin.
Yeah, his elbow's really deep, but Connor's not doing much to sucker drag out there.
Come back to their feet.
Jerusalem's done a really nice job of controlling the mat. Whether Connor's on the verge of being out of bounds on top, he keeps his toes in. He's circled him in there.
52 seconds. Jerusalem Howard with the 1-0 lead, trying to get his Spartans back into this match. They trail 18-6. And we have 3 straight tight matches coming up, or 3 out of 4.
Another example of Jerusalem circling himself in, keeping his back to the center of the mat. In the referee's mind, you know, I'm not stalling.
Right.
I'm just controlling the center. It's the other guy's obligation to come in.
And get a stalemate.
If you call a stalemate on your feet,
Stalling
there's typically there's typically a stall call coming afterwards. But again, Jerusalem's done a nice job of controlling that center of the mat.
Troney to go here at 138, shot by Smith, front headlock by Howard. Like you said, there he is again. Spinning right back, butt to the center of the mat.
Got to get his elbow up. Benny, you mentioned it earlier. When he's on that front headlock, he's got to be elbow high. Connor's looking to sucker drag out of that. He's got to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him. Good re-attack. Get in on that leg.
Gets in on that leg, and time's going to run out. Jerusalem Howard is going to get the 1-0 decision for the Spartans.
That's a smart match by Jerusalem Howard. Really smart, really well wrestled.
That's going to move us to 144 pounds. We should see the other Messick, Landon Messick brother. And he'll be taking on just Ian Nance.
Again, just looking on first glance by records, Laurel's got to be favored here a little bit.
Underway at 144 pounds. Midway point of the match.
Nance,
18-9.
Yeah, Nance is looking for that underhook. Early in the match, Benny, but I got a feeling someone's going for a ride in this match.
He called that the other week with Smyrna and CR, and he called it right. Nance 5-3. They've had a lot of guys in and out of this weight class this year. Some injuries.
Just looking at a few records in both of these lineups, Benny, there's a few guys with not a ton of experience,
right.
And what an opportunity, and what a cool thing for both teams to be able to have people to plug in
right.
in a tight match like this that can wrestle in an environment like this. That's just again a testament to both programs and what they've been able to do over the last 5 to 7 years.
And go out of bounds with 55 on the clock. Shot by Messick in
nice
deep.
Double.
And gets the takedown. Goes up 2-0 for his Bulldogs. I think every match so far tonight, Dan, Laurel has had a distinct height advantage.
Yeah, they're all built. They're taller. They're longer, and again, you know that sometimes the scale might look even, but that height can really play a factor in situations like this. You got leverage on a long arm bar. You got a nice double leg with a little bit of extra reach. Those things matter. It doesn't always favor the longer wrestler, but so far tonight it's benefited them for sure.
That's the end of the first period. Messick takes a 2-0 lead.
You know, one of the things I was watching from Nance is he was kind of timing Messick's double leg up to hit that pancake type motion with those arms out, but Messick did a nice job of keeping those arms in, and Nance didn't have a chance to put him to his back.
Underway in the second period. Landon Messick with the 2-0 lead, now working in an arm bar. He's got the long arm, so he's going to reinforce it.
personally, as a coach, I've never loved reinforced bars for pinning. I love them for tilting. Yeah, but I've seen a lot of guys lately trying to pin with that reinforced bar. Got an arm behind the back again. It's going to sink that bar in, looks like.
I think Freddie Johnson getting us hooked up here and set up, ready to go tonight. Athletic director here, football coach at Lake Forest.
And we got a bar and a hook here. If he can keep him in, he can circle him in here, Benny.
Yep.
He's going to get it.
There it is. Count going. 55 seconds on the clock. He's on the edge.
He's got some space to work. It looks like Nance is able to get that arm through. Just enough to keep it up. See if Messick can circle that shoulder back down.
35 to go here, second period.
What a fight from Nance.
Yeah, that's not a comfortable position to be in.
And they're going to be just about out.
Under 20.
What a great job fighting that off.
And steps out of bounds, 14 seconds left. 3 back points for Messick.
You get in a tight arm bar like that, Benny, and, you know, it's not what you wanted, obviously, but you know you need to do it for the team. You got a lot of time left in the period, and what a great job by Nance to fight that off for his team.
Under 10 to go here in the second period.
If you're Messick, you're wishing that one could have happened in the center of the mat.
So far, not a lot of bonus here tonight, Dan. I think what, 2 pins is all we've had.
He's taking top. Well, we're in a bonus situation here.
Right.
You know, Messick's up by 5. He's already turned Nance once. If he can turn him again for 3, we're in a major decision situation. Up 5-0 right now. He's got that bar again. Sometimes in the third period, people go over just a little bit easier than they did earlier. He's going right back to it. See how far the referee lets him go, and he's got it. This one's a little tighter.
Able to get his hips over this time.
Right now, and Nance is fighting again. He's got to sit himself up. He's all the way through, though.
Well, this will have a major decision if he doesn't come out with the pin.
This is a really tight position. This is very unorthodox. But Messick's doing a good job of cinching that half. Now it's reversed. Stay teed off. Don't go parallel. Stay teed off.
Minute to go.
And he's going to be able to pass the arm unless he stays teed off. He's got to try to pull that far elbow back. Just like that.
And there's the pin. 6 more for the Bulldogs, so they've got 3 pins in this match.
That is a big, big time pin again, Benny. 2 guys that kind of look at it, you know, Laurel's a little bit favored, but to come out with a pin, and here we go.
Big match of the night. Number 1 versus number 2. They're 1-1 against each other. Stanley Pete from Laurel, number 1. Case Dempsey from Lake Forest, number 2. The rubber match headed into the conference tournament, Stan.
Yeah, these matches matter, man. If you're 2-1 against the next best guy, you obviously get the number 1 seed. And if you got a really tough number 3 guy in the weight class, you want that number 1 seed. So these matches matter for this match, but they also matter for your individual conference seeding coming up in a few weeks. And I bet both of these guys are thinking about that. You know, they want to win for the team, but they have late February circled on their calendars as well.
24-9, Laurel leads in the dual meet. Getting to the meat of the Lake Forest order, as they're a little tougher in the upper weights. Of course, it caps off with the defending Henlopen conference champion with Joseph Baynard at heavyweight for Laurel. Yeah. Pete, conference champ last year at 138.
Yeah, Stanley Pete's been a guy who's been around for a long time. He's come up through the program. Sometimes when you see these two evenly matched guys, they spend a lot of time just kind of feeling each other out, who's going to make the mistake first, and I want to see him get after it.
Yeah, you got maybe a finger to the eye. Pete says he's all right. 31 seconds, and back at it. Dempsey won the first one at the Polytech tournament, and then Pete won the second one. Pete actually took a in on a high crotch.
Got to finish in short time here. We're at 7 seconds. See if we're aware of it. If we're Dempsey, if we're aware of it. I love that.
2 at the buzzer for Pete.
I love that takedown late. Dempsey did a nice job trying to fight it off, but Stanley Pete was just too tough.
Pete was upset by an unranked wrestler last Friday night, but the weight class has just been. There was no moving in the weight. So Coach Zach Tovine checking the team score.
I think he was seeing who had choice based on the coin flip.
Dempsey's going to take bottom position. I'll just keep it on the other one so you get it back. I'll be able to see when you get it up.
Dempsey doing a nice job holding that master position, we
Right.
call it. Coming to your feet, not making any mistakes. Nice
It's
job
his skate,
cutting
2
away.
to 1.
You know, as a coach, we always wanted our wrestlers trying to score late in the period. It's hard to get those points back. And if you're the defensive wrestler, you got to do everything you can to fight it off. Dempsey tried hard there.
Pete out for a short time, December and January. Injured his elbow down in Salisbury at the Parkside tournament, as you can see with the big wrap on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be a disadvantage to him, though.
No, he's wrestling tough. And he sunk an underhook there and almost pancaked Dempsey. You know, one thing I noticed is that the Lake Forest wrestlers all do a good job controlling that center.
And Pete is going to go in injury time, and he is holding that elbow. Looked like Dempsey was doing what I call an underwhip. And I guess it was on that arm, because as soon as he did it.
Yeah, he jumped up there.
Stanley Pete last year and won it by a major decision in the conference finals, and I think he used almost all his blood time.
I remember that, the nosebleeds, yeah.
Right.
You had to tape it, do the tape all the way around the head, and that really limits your breathing there.
So they're adjusting his elbow gear. And we'll see what effect this has the rest of the match, Dan, because we're only halfway through the match. 2 to 1.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's lost any strength in that right arm, that's the one he underhooks with.
Well, and I tell you this too is if you take an injury time with the 3 minutes still to go, if you take another one, it's choice for Dempsey.
Heavy hands from both wrestlers.
Yeah.
Referee letting it go. I like that.
I like it too. It's a college style match. Both guys getting after it.
.30 to go here in the second period. A straight on double leg by Pete. Chin whip by Dempsey. These cats are getting after it.
Yeah, Benny, that was kind of my thought process early. about Lake Forest controlling the center of the mat. What I've also noticed is that those Laurel guys just sit back and kind of pull you in, and then they blast through you. And that's exactly what Stanley Pete just did right there. They're back on their heels, but then they explode right through. Nice.
7 seconds to go.
Dempsey had a
does
great
not want to
shot.
step over that. He does. Is he going to?
Good
no
call
takedown.
there. That's a good no call by the official. That's a great call, holding your points. That was the right call.
Yeah, it looked like initially Pete was going to put him to his back, but Dempsey just no quit in him.
Correct. I think that was the right call. I think Dempsey had to stay on that leg and not come up to that seatbelt position. That's ultimately what got him put on that back. Now,
Pete chooses bottom position.
Yeah, Dempsey's down one here, and at some point he's going to have to think about, if I can't turn him, when do I cut him?
Underway in the third period at 150 pounds. The number 1 and number 2 wrestlers in the state in a 2-1 match. Both wrestlers have had each have had a clean shot. Pete able to finish his in the first period. Dempsey just unable to finish there at the end of the second.
Yeah, and that's what these matches come down to, Benny, is who can capitalize when you get an opportunity. You get two equally ranked guys, caliber-wise, they're really close to each other. Who can capitalize on their shot and their attempt? And you watch the NCAA tournament, and you might just get one really good shot, but you have to make it count. And that's what Pete did, and that's what Dempsey's going to try to do. We're approaching a minute here. They got to start thinking about, when do I take this match to my feet? Give myself the most amount of time.
Under a minute, 59 seconds to go. Looking for a tilt here.
Yeah, we do have an arm bar here with the arm on the back. I don't know if you bail from that position.
Approaching 45. At 45 to go in the match. I think he's got to ride this out now, Dan.
Yeah, he's kind of putting himself in a little
bit
bit of
look for a turn.
You're not going to get two stall calls. I don't know, Benny. I think I'm cutting him here. It's easy to lay on bottom and not do anything. You're not gonna get two stall calls this late in the match. Get out, get a new start, let him up. Don't let him sit on the edge of the mat.
Under 20 to go. Dempsey looking to tilt, and they go out of bounds.
You got to let him up right now.
All right, 13 seconds to go. Got to start on your feet. Well, I think he's going to stay on the tilt.
Yeah, I mean, when you're two equally ranked guys, two same caliber, it's easy not to get turned here.
12 to go, and a stall call on bottom.
Yeah, it's just too late.
And that's going to be your final. Stanley Pete with a 2-1 decision. Maintains his number 1 ranking.
Yeah, he wrestled a smart match. He took his shot when he had it. He capitalized on it. And he did enough to get the win for sure.
So I think they wait in 2 here, so I think we're probably going to see Cisco Escobar. And I think Lake Forest weighed in 2 here also. And I'm not sure who this is they're sending out. Is that Dempsey? Cohen Dempsey? I think it was Cohen Dempsey. Then underway at 157 pounds. So they're going to bump up Nuruddin Ahmad Stats, the defending state champ. But Laurel has built a 27-9 lead.
Yeah, Benny, I love that move. Send your top gun out.
Against one of their top guys.
Yeah.
Because the next match we're going to see number 4 ranked Xavier Limehouse against number 2 ranked Nerdy and Ahmad Stats, which are just going to be up a weight.
Yeah, it's exactly where they were supposed to be. You hit, like you said, up one weight. But if you're Lake Forest, this is kind of a panic mode now. You got to win this match, and you got to win the next one, and that certainly helps. I like that the referee held. He's done a good job of holding his points in a couple tough positions. Looks like we got a cradle attempt here, and we're locked, Benny. Now that's 2, and that's near fall.
Dempsey gets the first score here. There go the swipes.
And he's got it. If he can get that bottom knee in the ribs. Oh, what a nice job.
Kicks out and go out of bounds. And 3 back for Dempsey.
What a great job by Escobar getting out of that cradle. He was in there, cross-face cradle, tight on the edge. And again, we talk about this all the time as coaches, and it's for the team right now. What does the team need me to do? Well, Dempsey's in a deep bar. He's got a far wrist. He's going to take this around the head.
Now he hooks it.
He's got it. This is tight, Benny.
28 seconds to go. He's got to drop the hips on him now.
He's got to keep him in. He's got to drop the hips. There it is. He's got to drop this far, this hip closest to us.
Escobar, oh.
There it is.
Got to the bridge. And a fall.
That's a huge,
big one.
Huge momentum swing for Lake Forest going into their big gun in a really, really high stakes match. I was doing some math, and in my head, I didn't know if Lake Forest didn't win that match, it would have been a really tough feat for them to come back. And all of a sudden,
they're around 12.
They're right back in it with some of their big guns coming up, just record-wise. This will be a fun one.
Xavier Limehouse for the Bulldogs. Comes out at 150 or 165. Both these guys are ranked at 157.
Both of these guys, no stranger to big match environments. They've come up through their programs. They've wrestled in some big situations in their long careers. Both seniors. They know what this is about. They know what's at stake here. They've done this before.
Ahmad Stats, defending state champ, defending conference champ. Limehouse, 3-time state qualifier, and all-state football player, all-state running back, and linebacker. $165. The two 157s bump up. Cohen Dempsey right now, the man for the Spartans.
Yeah, that was a huge win for him and for the program. He brought this gym of the Spartan faithful to their feet. Nice shot.
There's not many seats left, Dan.
No, it's when we first got here, it was a little empty, and it's filled up. Yeah, that was a nice shot by Ahmad Stats there, keeping his level low, choosing his position and capitalizing.
I don't know that Lake Forest has a 2-time state champ. He's going for it this year.
Yeah, thinking back.
Charlie Jones is in attendance. He could tell us he's a big Lake Forest guy, but he's sitting way down there.
Yes, he is.
From the class of '82, like myself. Old guys. Out of bounds, 32 seconds.
Nice little standing switch attempt there.
For the 4th straight year, this is coming down to the Lake Forest Laurel match to see who is the Southern Division champs. Once Milford moved up to the north, it kind of opened the door for some of these other schools, Dan.
Yeah, sometimes you get a Indian River in the mix, and Del Mar's been up and coming every year. Woodbridge has had a couple tough years, but over the last 5 to 7 years, it's been the Laurel and Lake Forest show down here in the Southern Division. Starting back when Jesse Glandon took over at
Laurel,
at Laurel, and Coach Hanson's done a great job here. And now Coach Toadvine at Laurel, they've all done a great job with their programs. And again, I said this earlier, it's easy to get a one and done, but to stay relevant,
stay in the hunt,
stay in the hunt. That's true program building.
So Stats will take bottom.
Nice switch.
And the Limehouse able to get the leg in. And switch, and he's out. Stats goes up 3-0. And hamstring? Stats is not, there's no flash.
No.
You know, he's just, he has a hard ride, as we just saw in the last period.
Yeah, it was fun watching him in the state tournament last year. He's just steady as they come. He doesn't get flustered. He is sound fundamentally, and what he does is what he does, and he challenges you to beat it.
3-0 lead. We go back on our feet. Minute 45 to go here in the second period. 165 pounds. The Spartans trying to get themselves back in. They had a just miss against St. Mark's, the #1 ranked team in the state. The other Spartans able to pull that one out.
Oh, nice double attempt there. Yeah, Benny, you know, that Division II is going to be a fun ride this year with DMA, St. Mark's, Laurel, and Lake Forest all in the mix.
So apparently Charlie's watching us from inside. He just came over and said there has been no two-time state champions at Lake Forest. So Ahmad Stats looking to be the first.
Charlie Jones is Mr. Lake Forest.
Yes, he is. Big Al's roast beef, too. Don't kid yourself. Place I stop every year at the fair.
Ahmad Stats needs to be careful here and not go into a Peterson-like position with that right arm over.
This kid, he uses his height, his range, his leverage very well.
Yeah, his legs are almost functioning like another set of hands, another set of arms. Look at him getting his knees down, and now he's going to – but again, if he puts that right arm over that waist, you're in a Peterson position. He's got to be very careful. There it is.
He did, and Limehouse was waiting for it. 30 to go here in the second period.
See if we get a stalemate soon. We're not improving from this position.
And there it is.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of wrestlers need to recognize that Peterson's there, and Limehouse was smart enough to know if he puts that arm down, I'm going.
22 left here in the second period. 3-0 lead for Ahmad Stats. The Spartans trail 27-15 in the duel.
Nice shot. That's a huge, huge takedown.
Takedown for Limehouse.
If he can ride this out, that's a big, big takedown for him.
Because he will have choice in the third.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we're headed. Third period here at 165. We're on the back end of the match.
Tight matches, two evenly ranked guys. Late period takedowns, late period scores make the difference. You gotta keep your guard up, and Ahmad Stats let that down just a little bit there at the end. That's not like him.
Granby roll off the mat return. And is going to get the escape.
We're all
tied up. 3-3 here. Minute 45 left.
So if you're Limehouse, you've just rattled off 3 unanswered points. You're feeling good. But we talked about it before. Ahmad Stats does not get rattled.
Double leg straight on double.
Long, long arms.
Out of bounds, minute 24 on the restart. And not only has he reeled off 3 straight, he also was in on a shot before the one he got the takedown.
Yeah, he was. He's feeling himself here. He knows he can win this match, and his team will erupt if he wins this match.
And it could put it close to putting it away.
Yep. Yeah, this is about as
Shot
close
by-
to a must-win as for Lake Forest as there is. Maybe not mathematically, but at least for momentum.
Yeah,
And you
you're
got
right.
your best guy going right now, and between he and Case Dempsey, to lose both of those will really take some wind out of the sails.
Under a minute to go. Stats drops down to a 4-point stance. Shoots that straight on double leg. Looking for some angle here on the right side. That might be, that's a take, nah?
Yeah, that's a good call again. It's a good call again. That was close.
37 to go. We may go to some bonus wrestling tonight.
It's going to take one more good effort. Who's going to do it? And there it is.
Limehouse in on a low ankle. And out of bounds with 12.
Might have been your opportunity to end it here.
Shrug attempt by Stats.
He's in deep.
Limehouse in on a double, but he gets to that ankle. That's where that leverage.
Yeah, if I'm Limehouse, you almost got to go straight through Ahmad Stats. Long and lanky, good hips. You've got to get straight through him, or you got to get to the side. You can't pause underneath him.
Minute to go on the overtime, first overtime. Sudden victory here. First score wins.
Can't be a diving double. Got to freight train him or get to the outside on a single. Late in this match, it's who can move their hands, who can
Keep
put
their
some
feet
heavy-
moving.
Yeah, keep their feet moving. There it is.
Shot by
Nice shot.
Stats. Takes him to the edge and out of bounds with 26 seconds left in overtime.
Nice block there by Limehouse. Stop that good double.
Right now, Dan, this is where that 20 minutes of stance and motion at the beginning of practice comes into play.
That's exactly right.
And there's a 2.
That's a good call.
And an upset at 165.
That is the right call again. This referee has been on it. That's the right call. There's a no reaction time. We're on the butt. We've got 2 legs trapped. That's a 2 takedown. And his team knows it. They're excited. They're not going to change that call.
They wrestled at 65, but that's two ranked 57-pounders. And Limehouse with the big win for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Benny, that takes the wind out of Lake Forest a little bit here.
That moves us to 175. Colin Brandener and Sean Farrell.
Yeah, looking at the last 4 matches, there's 24 points on the board, but you got a stud and Baynard going in that last match.
Right.
So essentially, you really got to try to rattle off 3 straight pins if you want to keep this within, you know, and not saying can't do it at heavyweight, but
Right. Got a guy that's third in the state last year, conference champ. So Laurel has to be feeling good about the situation. 30-15.
you know, going back to that last match, we got a deep bar here.
Farrell looking for the fall. He's bumped up a weight class here tonight. Needs to go back over that head.
Yeah, he does.
There
That's
he does.
better. There it is. What a fight! But he's every time he fights,
gets
he cinches
tighter.
it just a little bit tighter.
And now it's deep. Look how deep that hangs. He's elbow deep on the neck. And the pin. The 30-21 as we move to 190.
Again, this is a match that, Lake Forest should be favored in.
Do they bump Parcell up, though, and maybe slow things down at heavyweight?
Yeah, that's a question.
Is this Brogan Thomas?
If Coach Hansen's behind the bench talking, he's having a discussion. I think that was a discussion behind the bench just now.
So we're underway. Brogan Thomas, Lake Forest bumping their team up the rest of the way. Brogan Thomas, all-district linebacker for the Lake Forest Spartans football team.
So if you're watching from home, we've got 3 matches to go. Lake Forest is heavily favored in this match and the next match.
And they might bump their ranked, number 5 ranked, 250. Oh, big double leg by Thomas. Maybe slow some things down. And there's a fall for the Spartans. So things getting interested and tightening up.
Things are definitely getting interesting. It looks like we're sending out
Chase Lewis.
Looks like we're sending out Parcell.
Parcell. And Corday Rodriguez for Laurel. And Parcell for Lake Forest. Parcell ranked 5th in the state at 215. It's a tough weight class this year.
Theoretically here, and again, a lot of matches to wrestle. Parcell pins. Cannon's got to do his best in a matchup
To not get pinned.
to not get pinned against a big, strong heavyweight. Cannon's no slouch, but it's a tough order against Banner.
Oh, what would the Laurel Lake Forest match be without coming down to the
You're
wire?
exactly right.
Rodriguez 12-22 in the season. He's a junior. Parcell senior 24-3.
And again, thinking big picture here. If I'm a coach right now, I'm thinking we got a pin in this match. A tech, a major, probably doesn't help us a ton.
Right. Under a minute. And I think you're going to look back on this match, Dan, should Laurel win on those 2 big marquee matchups we had with Stanley Pete and Dempsey and Limehouse and Stats.
Yeah, exactly.
And that could be 2 matches we see in the conference finals coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say that those guys haven't seen the last of each other.
Takedown for Parcell and out of bounds. 6 seconds left.
Again, another late period takedown.
Yeah, you can't get those back.
No, you can't.
So we'll move to the second period. 2-0 lead for Cullen Parcell.
I saw some discussion behind the bench before this match, and it looked like they were thinking about bumping him up. They decided to roll the dice and try to get him out here and get a matchup against a guy his own weight with some locked hands there.
Corday Rodriguez, without a doubt, knows where the weight room is at Laurel High School.
Yes, he does.
Penalty point for Parcell. He leads 3-0.
And that was a pretty easy locked hands call, Benny. If I'm Parcell, I'm going to spend a little time on bottom just moving. See what happens here.
Comes to his feet, isolates the wrist, gets the escape. 4-0 lead for Cullen Parcell. Unfortunately, we will not be able to get an interview after the match, folks. We have our, as you know, we're down to one camera, and that's on our side. But we will pick an outstanding wrestler.
Yeah, you got a few already coming to mind.
Yeah.
Depending on who wins this match, but a couple really great performances by both teams.
Approaching a minute to go here in the second period.
This is what February wrestling's all about, Benny.
Yeah.
Guys are banged up, guys are beat up, they're tired of making weight. A two can kind of grind through it better and has a bigger purpose and a bigger why.
I would think Cullen Parcell would like to want to pick up the pace right now.
Yeah.
45 to go. They need a pin.
He's definitely the more experienced wrestler. You gotta force Rodriguez to try to make a mistake. He's obviously slapped together, but you got to start firing off your offense and wait for him to make a mistake so you can put him on his back. So far, Rodriguez has done a nice job of not making those mistakes.
Right.
I'm sure Coach Toadvine has told him before the match, nothing to your back. Nothing to your back.
Approaching 10 to go in the second period. You know, Parcell's going to settle and win this thing on top. But if I'm Toadvine, I put my guy back on his feet.
I do too. I don't take a chance putting him under. I put him on his feet. There he is. Smart move.
So Rodriguez takes neutral. He trails 4-0. And that takes a little bit of pressure off. Even though Baynard's a seasoned heavyweight now, you know, if Parcell can only get out here with a decision, he just has to come out with a win.
Just come out and win. It's not as easy as people think to come out and pin somebody, especially when their job is to not get pinned.
With the title on the line.
Exactly. I know I'm sure at the beginning of the year, both teams have these written down on their goal boards, win the Southern Division, and this is kind of the culmination of that. All the hard work, all the extra workouts. This is it.
Approaching a minute to go here in the third, and there's a stall call on Rodriguez. Yeah, looks like Parcell looks like he wants to pick the pace up a little bit.
Yeah, we're only less than a minute to go. Just got to try to make Rodriguez expose himself a little bit. If I'm Rodriguez, I'm okay with getting a few more stall calls. I'm holding my position. I'm hand fighting and blocking a little bit.
And there's another stall call. Now, be a point for Parcell.
Yeah, but he's got a couple more.
Right. 5-0 lead for Parcell. And throws him to his back. But Rodriguez is able to quickly get to his chest.
I don't know if Parcells recognizes there's less than 20 seconds. You don't have time to fool around his edge.
It's in the bar, and it goes out of bounds. 5 seconds left. And that's going to make it 30-30 going into the final match of the night.
Coach Toadvine is pumped with that performance by Rodriguez. He is clapping. He's excited. He knows that is a win for Laurel.
Both wrestlers coming out here, Dan, with a chance to do big things.
Yeah, this is what it's all about.
We're at 285. For the Bulldogs, defending conference champion and number 3 ranked 285-pounder in the state, Joseph Baynard, sophomore, 27-1. He's up against Matthew Cannon, a junior, 15-13.
I heard you mention earlier, Benny, that Cannon had a tough match recently. Or did I mishear that?
He wrestled, Costello from Cape.
Gotcha.
Laurel team on their feet, standing behind the bench, sensing their 3rd straight Henlopen South title. 30-30. Comes down to the last match. Now this could be a problem. If he goes concussion protocol.
Yeah, this is not good. Maybe he just got hit in the eye.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not going to go there. So last thing you want is the trainer asking you questions.
That's in this setting. I mean, clearly we care about the health and well-being of all athletes, but we hope it's just an eye poke at that point,
Right.
if I'm the coach, or an eyelash. I don't want the concussion talk coming in.
No. Cannon doing a good job holding position here on the big guy.
Yeah, we've talked a lot. We've talked a lot. Not that we gave Baynard this match, but we think it's, obviously definitely favored. And Cannon did a good job so far holding. That was a collective
Take down
no.
Baynard.
A collective no from the whole gym.
Right.
During that headlock.
I think he wanted to think headlock. And
when you're wrestling heavyweight, a takedown in the first period could sometimes be hard to come back from. They have locked hands there, I think.
yeah, I thought so too. And we're going to stalemate with 17 to go.
Yeah, I think he does that again. He's going to bang him for stalling. If I'm Cannon, if I can get to my feet here in the end of this period, that's a positive.
5 to go here in the first period.
Benny, with the exception of a rogue headlock there.
0-0, all right.
That's a relatively even first period.
Cannon will defer. Baynard will take bottom. 2-0 here in favor of Baynard.
Oh, Baynard fast.
To his feet quickly. Three-0 lead.
If you're Cannon, you got to start thinking, what's my offense here? What am I going to do? I know the cards are stacked against me a little bit here. I'm going to have to fire something off. Maybe when he comes in on an ankle pick like that, I go to head and arm, or I'm going to have to take a chance here in order to get this one done.
Approaching a minute here in the second period. 3-0 lead for Joseph Baynard. Now, had Parcell gotten a pin, Mike Hans would be really happy with what Candace done right now.
Wouldn't he? But maybe you see a different.
Oh, big double leg, gets up around the waist. Looks like going to bear hug. Cannon looking for the headlock. Take down Baynard. Baynard looking for the fall here to end this with an explanation point.
Don't call locked hands there.
Baynard needs to get his chest back, and he does. Pin for the Bulldogs, and the conference championship goes with it.
Yeah, what a great match for both teams. But Laurel won those close ones, and they had the momentum in their favor early. Just a team effort by that Laurel Bulldogs team. Hats off to Coach Toadvine and his staff.
Third straight conference championship.
Yeah, they came ready to wrestle tonight.
So we'll keep it right here. And Dan, I have to say, I think the outstanding wrestler goes to Xavier Limehouse.
Yeah, Xavier Limehouse did a great job moving up. I mean, obviously they're the same weight class, but that wasn't the matchup that they necessarily wanted. And he just rose to the occasion.
Gets the takedown in overtime, and he's the number 4 ranked 157-pounder in the state, and knocks off the number 2 ranked 157-pounder in the state, and probably gives himself a top seed at the Henlopen Conference tournament coming up.
Yeah, and that matters. Again, 5 unanswered points late in the match. Just a really, really great job by Xavier Limehouse.
Well, folks, from Lake Forest for Delaware Live, for Brandon Hill and Donald Flowers, thank you again, Dan Rigby. I'm Benny Mitchell. Have a good night, and look forward to seeing you Friday night when the Red Lion Lions head down to Caesar Rodney to take on the Riders, our final live stream of the year. Folks, have a good night.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard.